Good morning, Connect Church. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And this is our segment of called the Kitchen Table. And today I have a privilege of having Roxann with me. Good morning, Roxann. How are you doing?
Good morning, Pastor Yanni, and good morning, church family.
So, Roxann, please share with us what are your thoughts on racism and social injustice?
Well, thank you for having me. And first of all, I just want to say I'm so glad we are talking about this and that you have the mini sessions on race, racism, and reconciliation coming up. So thank you for that. I just wanted to kind of take everybody back a little bit as to where I'm coming from in my family. My dad was the first Black that was admitted to the Air Force, and that was back in the 40s. Now, that started because my uncle originally wanted to get in, and every time they said they were doing an enlistment, he'd go down and they'd say no. So they would not enroll him. So what they had to do was they actually had to send letters to their MPs. It went all the way up to the Prime Minister's office. And think about that, way back then. So they got a word back saying, no, there's nothing, no racism, nothing funny going on here. It's definitely open. So my grandfather says, my dad says, okay, Jimmy, you go down there and you apply and see if they're telling the truth. And my dad was about 19 at the time, did not want to be in the military. He goes, signs up for the Air Force, and next thing you know, boom, he's in. So, I mean, that's how he got in, but it was pressure that was put on the government to really open the door. So that's just one story. The same uncle, he actually led a protest to get the book Little Black Sambo banned out of elementary schools. When my cousin came home crying one day in the 50s about this book because it was obviously very inappropriate. And again, he had to take charge, lead a protest to actually get the book banned, and he was able to do that. And then I have another uncle who's also my dad's brother. Now he's my only surviving uncle. He's in Vancouver, and he went out there in the 50s. And when I say 50s, kids, I'm talking 1950s. And he became an alderman. And back then in Vancouver, I mean, there really weren't very many people of color. So he had to break down a lot of barriers, and he was in politics for well over 25 years. He retired there. And then he ended up, right now, he has a community center named after him. So, but these were all things that they had to break down barriers to get to. So that's kind of I guess my thoughts in terms of what's going on. And yes, there's racism. Yes, it's been, but we also have to realize we have come quite a ways, but we still have a ways to go.
Thank you, Roxann. I'm just so glad that, your relatives shared these stories with you so you can share them with us. And as I was listening to you, it seemed like many times then some things they were fighting for, it's maybe the relatives later, or you were able to reap the benefits of their hard work, and as they were fighting to bring down barriers. So what would you like to place on the hearts of our people at Connect Church? Do you have something what you want to share with them?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, I want to say, I think we talk and we say, people are racist. Sometimes I think those people are not necessarily racist. They're just ignorant or just uninformed, uneducated. And what they see, a lot of times they don't have exposure with Blacks and other cultures. So all they're seeing is images that are in the media, or they form these their perceptions based on very limited information, and I think what we have to do is we have to get into the media, into the police force, and all these different places as people of color, because that's how perceptions change, when people are actually exposed and they understand Okay, well, it's not exactly as I'm seeing out there on, on the media, and I think it's really important for us to, it's a way to help break down those barriers that exist. It's just because we don't have the exposure in a lot of cases in a lot of these different areas. As you mentioned in your message last week, we are one race, the human race, and that's always kind of been my approach to life. I think, God's made us all in His image, and we just have to continue to pray for equality, pray that God will always be there, and I think He always is, and He's leading us. And I think COVID has happened for a very real reason, and a lot of good is going to come out of it, and we just have to trust in God, and we'll get there. We'll get there.
Thank you, Roxann. Thank you so much for coming on today, and thank you so much for sharing. I know it's gonna be a blessing to many of us this Sunday morning. And I just wanted to say, others in our church, if you would like to come and be a part of this conversation, please let us know, because we would like to hear your voice. We would like to hear your input. So thank you so much again, Roxann, for coming on. God bless you.
Thank you.